All right, hey, Shalom. It's Brother Itazawan from the GMS Columbus, Ohio branch. Coming back again with another video through the Spirit. Knows what is edifying. And I'm going to just do a take on the Apostle Gabar's wave, concerning what's in my kitchen. All right. And, slide here. And pretty much just want to tap into some alternatives. I just posted a video of how I lost 100 pounds, and just dealing with infirmities and things of that nature. Childhood things and other things. Prior to this truth, and trying to get right, get healthier, etc. And like I said, just want to tap into some alternatives and things that I did that helped me lose over 100 pounds in this ministry. All right, within almost a year. Okay, and first was prayer. Okay, another thing that helped me a lot was fasting, prolonged fasting. Not to 1 day or 2 days. I'm talking about 3 days, weeks. I know recently, and not boasting, because it's hard, and ultimately, man, through the process of what's going on with me, the Lord's humbling me. So everything's with all humility and urgency. All right, in the sense of taking your health serious, getting rid of bad habits, prior to things happening, before the Lord had to throw that affliction on you. But one thing that helped me, like I said, was prolonged fasting. I got a period of time, I do concrete construction where I get laid off. And in the midst of that layoff, I did, I think, 17 days. And I did another week, so that helped get a lot of weight off. Accompanied with working out, running, walking, etc. Being active, sparring. I got into boxing with the elder bro. And cooking my own food, no bread. All right, I'm very big on what's in my food. I'm looking for single ingredient food. So here, and like I said, I've not really been on bread. I've had it here and there, on days where, I indulge a little bit. But, I was looking for some alternatives. All right. And I found this bread here. It's called Base Culture. Okay. And this was found at Whole Foods. And, in the hunt for a decent type of bread, I was looking for Ezekiel bread, which they had. When I I like what was in it, but I'm trying to stay away from the gluten. They got like organic gluten and organic yeast in it. And this is more keto friendly bread, which has to be frozen. It has great ingredients. Lord's will. See if I can get some good lighting. All right. But you may or may not be able to see it, through the Spirit, which that's fine. I'll just read them off, really. Okay, so we have and I hope this lighting is good. I may have to come this way. Let's see if this lighting is. This lighting's better. Let's come this way. Okay, so we have water, eggs, golden flaxseed meal, raisins, almond butter, arrowroot flour, almond flour, psyllium husk, which I believe is like a type of root, if I'm not mistaken, that contains lots of fiber. Cashew butter. It says apples, or applesauce, or juice, apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, coconut oil, baking soda, sea salt. Okay, and that's the ingredients. And to each his own. This is my first time trying it. Like I said, just trying to find bread alternatives, etc. Because I haven't been consuming a lot of bread at all. Within the last we in July? Within the last, I want to say 9 months, going on 10 months. All right. And like I said, just being very cautious of what's in my food, man. No dyes, no natural flavors. All right. Whole food ingredients. All right, like here. And another thing too, man, that helped me out is laying off of meat. All right, I laid off of meat all last month. That wasn't the healthiest route to go, I would say. Lord's will, I'll do better, this next month. But it was just a tester to see how I could do without meat, which I have. When I fast, prolonged fast, etc., it would be without meat. But really trying to get into the Daniel diet, the alkaline diet, etc. But like I said, just whole food ingredients for the most part. Strawberries, all types of berries and salads and stuff. Ain't got a whole bunch of stuff in here right now. But things like that. All right. And another thing, herbs, man. Keeping that herbal cabinet stacked up. All right, here we got ginkgo, which is good for the brain, dandelion root, general health, immune system, so on and so forth. Peppermint, good for the gut. And also, peppermint is good for allergies, man. So for brothers who deal with allergens, seasonal allergies, etc., good, for, make you some peppermint tea. All right, got some CP, cayenne pepper, burdock root, good for cleansing the blood. Got some turmeric. All right, and another thing I've been on is black walnut, okay? And I take this in moderation. You kind of got to feel for these things too, man. Make sure you're not overdoing it. Make sure you're balanced in it in the sense of, rotation, I would say, okay? Got some, healthy seasonings for the most part, low sodium, no salts. Etc. I found this good butter. It's like a almond coconut butter. Okay. And just like I said, just healthy alternatives and things that have helped me lose 100 pounds. I had made a testimony. I made a testimony at my 70-pound mark, and I just put up a quick one on my 100-pound mark. And I seen a brother, I believe in Trinidad, who commented on the post. Pretty much he was just saying, how he was trying to lose 50 pounds or so. So I figured through the spirit, why not make, a video to help younger brothers like myself. I'm in my 3rd year, going on my 4th. Help them out and show them, routes I took, etc., man. But the core thing is praying, man. I would say fast often. Make sure your ingredients are whole food ingredients. If I see a list that look like a paragraph in my food, I don't do it. That's just no. All right, no fast food. I got some arugula and some spinach drying up. I just cleaned this off. And I made my first time making some homemade tzatziki sauce. All right, which contains I think it's a non-fat Greek yogurt. All right, plain. You got some dill. We got some cucumber, some lemon, a little salt, and some olive oil. Okay. See if we can get up on that. All right. And real quick, let me grab my tablet because I want to bring out some precepts real fast. Bring out precept I brought out earlier, and that's Sirach. Matter of fact, I got one. Slog it. 1 second. This thing's slow. It's an old Amazon tablet. But anyway, find this preset real fast. It's a rock. Yep. This is Sirach 37 and verses 27. It reads, it's Sirach 37:27. It reads, "This is my son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it." And I know personally, you know, all those breads, just all that. If, you know, processed foods, it just doesn't do good in my family, my genetics. You know, we deal with cancers and, you know, fighting against that, diabetes, etc. So, you know, things of that matter, all right, you know, just weren't good for me, man. And, you know, I was indulging in those things. You know, the Lord jacked me up for it. You know, but the key thing is taking heed and listening, you know, following the vibration of our apostles and elders, and just getting in order and getting in line, man. And the big thing that's being pushed in this ministry is health. All right, because we want to get through this thing and see the end. All right, and I was doing, I had a conversation with, you know, a guy in Concrete who does cancer. You know, that does cancer, that has cancer. And to be honest, man, a lot of guys who are in that profession like myself, you know, end up getting cancer. But hey, you know, it comes from diet, being fucked up, and, you know, stress, you know, all that, you know. So me being young, trying to counteract those things, you know, and, you know, things that I'm already dealing with, you know what I'm saying? But it says, "My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it." All right, so what we have to do and understand is that we have to come to grips and look in the mirror and understand what is harming me, what is slowing me down. When I eat this, how do I feel? All right, when I drink this, how do I feel? You know, that's another thing too, having to let go strong drink, yayan, okay? In the midst, you know, letting those things go, all right? That was a big factor for me as well. I had to let those things go for a period of time. And, you know, now, you know, for the last, 6 months, I would say it was in moderation. But now I'm in the point where I'm like, man, I'm just cool on the yayan and strong drink, man, you know, personally. Verse 28, it says, "For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure." It's like pleasure in everything, right? You know, all things are not profitable for all men, like the scriptures speak of. All right, you know, things being lawful but not expedient. All right, in the sense that, you know, yeah, it may be lawful to do or to eat, you know, etc., but it may not be expedient for your walk. All right, for your personal your personal lot. All right, so verse 29, it says, "Be not insatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats." Right, and that's another thing too that helped me is, you know, cutting down my meat intake. All right, we have to understand in the ancient world, you know, men, you know, women and children, you know, in the Eastern culture didn't eat meat all the time or every day like we do here in America, being in the West. All right, they you know, survived off the, you know, the lentils, legumes, you know, the healthy grains of the earth, you know, fruits, you know, so on and so forth, man, and lived a, you know, a plant-based diet, you know, so to speak. Okay, you know, accompanied with meat, lamb, you know, milk, all right, goat cheese, you know, things of that nature. Okay, and you know, feast days, festivals, you know, marriages, you know, dived in meats, you know, however, you know, was scheduled, you know, in that time. All right, verse 30, it says, "For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into cholera." Right, and that's another thing too I still practice, and I've been practicing for a long time now, since high school, was intermittent fasting. All right, where, you know, you go a 12 to 14, maybe 16 hour, maybe 20 hour period of not eating, just staying off of, you know, teas or water, you know, things that suppress your appetite, you know, and I've been practicing that for a while. All right, but you cannot do that and then feel, because that's what I would do. I will do that and then feel like now I deserve to pig out or eat some bullshit. Nah, you still have to, you know, eat clean, all right, because you still will pick up weight. All right, thinking that because you fasted throughout the day, you're able to go and eat fucking Shake Shack or some shit. Nah, man. You still have to, eat a healthy diet. And the diet is what you habitually eat. It says 31, by surfeiting many have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. Right. So we got to take heed to what is written and apply these things in our life, man, to the best of our ability. And I got one more thing that I'm gonna try. This is my first time doing this, man, but I'm gonna try to make a healthy flatbread. I picked these two things up: almond flour and tapioca, however you say it, tapioca flour, which is like a starch, and this is grain free, okay. And I believe the Apostle Paul was on a video on certain grains, etc. Okay, this is gluten free as well. I'm gonna try to whip up some little flatbreads with that. And the recipe I got consisted of coconut milk, but I'm gonna go with almond milk for now. And even in this, you gotta watch out, because, and that's another thing I noticed, in this health grind, is you go to these different aisles, and they push healthy this and healthy that, but whole time they got what's it called, Xanath gum, guar gum, and these different sugars and all these additives and chemicals, but it's for your health. So like I said, when I buy things, it's simple ingredients, man. And I was looking for a good coconut oil or almond milk, whatever. I said coconut oil, coconut milk or almond milk, whatever. And I was looking at the ingredients. I'm like, man, it may be cool or better for something, but it still got all these additives and chemicals, etc. And I found this one. It's called almond milk, whatever that is. And you see at the top it says gum free. And I believe that gum goes into some type of sugar or corn syrup, some to that degree. But if you can or cannot see the ingredients, what 4 ingredients: filtered water, organic almonds, Himalayan pink salt. All right, 3 ingredients. All right, you see. So it's hey, simple ingredients. That's the key, man. Simple ingredients, no additives, no sugars, no dyes, no natural flavors, no potassium phosphates and glycemic, monoconates, all that, the paragraphs, and nah, man, just simple ingredients, simple whole ingredients. This, has more ingredients, but it's simple. It's no additives, no extra, man. All right. But pretty much that's it. Through the Spirit, just want to share that. All right. Like I said, I had a brother, beloved brother, or elder, I'm not for sure, comment on my post, man, and just encouraging Jake, man, through the Spirit. Me being a young brother and understanding that it's young brothers like myself who deal with health issues, man. Just from being in the world. I came up in a family where, man, we were taught all the wrong shit, man. And, being in the streets and eating foul and, just all the sorts, man. So it's just hard, man. It's hard, man, coming out of Babylon, and really trying to depart, from this American diet. And, it's hard, man, so I just want to send blessings to the beloved brothers who fighting, infirmities like myself, who's trying to get it right and do right, man. Like I said, I'm, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahawashi, man, I'm just so grateful and thankful that, although, like I said, I'm still dealing with issues, the Lord allowed me to, gain some type of redemption and losing the weight and feeling better, doing better for myself. And it feels good, man. It feels way better knowing that you're eating better and eating right. You're picky, you're changing, and people noticing that, brothers, etc., so on and so forth, man. So that's it, man. I'm call it that. Just wanted to put that on wax, man. I was just inspired. to do this quick video, and you know, again, to motivate brothers and show brothers what helped me, man. You know, like I said, I lost over 100 pounds. I'm about 190 right now. 6 foot. Gonna try to get back down to my high school weight, 175, man. All right, so this was exhorting to those who may receive it. All right, gonna give all glory and praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Shalom.